room for two new champions, Delaney Maple and the head coach Dain Blanton, join us now of the Three Peters USC Beach Volleyball. I'm Jordan Moore, and this is Cody Kessler. Guys, it was an incredible run. It's great to have you on the first show of the fall because, by the time you were doing it, we were off the air in the spring. But it was a different one, Delaney. I mean, we went into it, not to say that we were doubting you, but, you guys were the underdog. How did you guys approach it as a team? How is this title different than the previous ones?
Yeah, totally different. Well, first, thank you for having us. This is awesome. But definitely, I think every year is super different. You're always going to have new people, new experiences. So I think we just had to remember that at the end of the day, it was just one tournament. You kind of had to flush the rest of whatever happened, highs and lows, try and take just the positives from season and go into a 3-day tournament because it's just who's going to be the best in that tournament, which I think was huge for us because we had a ton of trust in each other. We knew what we'd been doing all year. We know how hard we've been working. So it was kind of just trusting our training and trusting our teammates. And it was awesome to see the way that not only the upperclassmen, but also the new people who it was some of their first NCAA times that they were able to play. Just watching them totally trust what we've been trying to say. And it was like everything came together at the perfect day, which was awesome.
Yeah, congratulations again. Made all of us Trojans proud. Coach, three-peat national champions. And I want to say going into this next year, I don't want to use the word complacent, but how do you keep from getting comfortable, right? You want to go for that fourth one. What's the main goal and the main message to your team as you go in? Huge target on your back now, obviously, of the team to beat. What's the message to the team to not get complacent and going into this next year and going for a fourth one?
Yeah, great question. We really try to put each year in its own kind of silo. And if you're bringing in last year's kind of success or the things that happened last year, you only put pressure on, especially not only the players that were playing last year, but the new players that come in. If you put that high expectation, it can be very difficult. And I think they can kind of fold in a situation like that. So, like Delaney will tell you, we work on maximizing potential, and we don't. And correct me if I'm wrong, Delaney, but we don't talk about winning championships. Like, that's not our goal. I mean, it is our goal, but we do it by trying to maximize the potential of each of the athletes, and we bring in really high character individuals such as Delaney, who are leaders. And even if they're big fish in a small pond, when they get here, they can look right, look left, recognize there's really a lot of talent around them. And instead of shrinking in that moment, they are going to ask questions. They are going to try to learn as much as they can from their teammates so that they can get better. And that's been, I think, the magic for our team is we beat each other up in practice, but we walk out as a team, and the internal team leadership. And Delaney will tell you, I give her a lot of autonomy because it's about ownership. When you are vested in the team, it's going to be a much better experience than me harping on the sidelines. They're gonna listen to our captains a lot, and I like to empower everyone on the team.
I'm curious about this question from both a player and a coach's perspective. We always talk in football. They always have these, cliche. It's difficult to beat a team twice, or in the NFL they say it's really hard to beat a team 3 times. You guys play a team like UCLA, who you saw at the end last season, a bunch of times throughout the season. How, from a player side, if that matchup's not going well, do you change things? Or if it is going well, do you just shake things up in any way? Coach, same kind of thing where you're going, hey, we're struggling to beat this team. You found a way to beat them and get those points you needed when it mattered most, but you had to be looking at it going, hey, it's still the same people on the same courts. How do I make the scoreboard change?
I would say it's always fun playing them because a lot of them are really good friends, especially with us being 20 minutes away from them.
You can't say that. We're not.
I'm one of the few. But it's always fun playing them because I think it's always a super respectful game, and it's going to always be super high-level volleyball. And I think you just have to go into it remembering that you're going to probably play them like 6 or 7 times a season. So you can't get caught up in on one. And what I always just try and take as much as I can from each game and realize win or lose, every game coming up to the national championship isn't necessarily the game I'm dying to win. I just want to figure out what I can get from those players. And I always try and go to the games. I try and say that I'm playing them faceless. I kind of try and not look at that it's UCLA, because I think when you get too involved, it's like it just becomes this huge game and it's almost like too much adrenaline. I've done that before and it wasn't good. So I think it's just like remembering, even though it's like going to be a huge game and it's going to be super competitive, and it's obviously the huge rivalry of LA, which is awesome to be a part of. Sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you kind of have to remember like, okay, it's just a volleyball game and it's going to matter the same as the next. But those are always, I think, if I think of my favorite 5 games I've ever played in, I think every single one of them will be against them, just because it's so competitive and so fun.
Delaney, you and Julia Scholes last year, 36-1 overall record. Unbelievable. You guys were undefeated when you played in the #1 spot as well. What has that relationship with Julia meant to you, and how important is it for you guys to be on the same page when you're in competition?
Yeah, Julia is amazing. I can go like on and on about that person. Honestly, just off the court, probably one of the most kind, amazing humans I've ever met. I think I could say confidently. She's probably one of the few beach players that you probably will not hear one single negative thing about, which I think is huge, especially in a sport like beach volleyball, which is super personal. There's only 2 of you. You kind of have to let your character go and, you know, all of that. But she's also just one of the most phenomenal athletes I've ever seen. If you've seen her hit a ball, I'm so glad I wasn't on the other side of that, because I'm sure I probably would have got hit. But I think with beach volleyball, it's just so, there's only 2 of you, so you very much have to be on the same page and you have to figure it out really fast. And I think she was such a fantastic person to play with, just because she was straightforward, but she did it in a very kind way that you knew was coming out of a good place of her heart. You knew she wanted it just because she wanted us to be the best team we could possibly be. So it was also, she was a lot older than me, so it was cool getting to learn from her, and obviously I have so much respect for her. So it was kind of fun to play next to her and grow in that way, but also grow by just watching her and like see how she goes into every game, what her mindset is, how she sees the other team, and her game plans are always different than what I thought. So it was fun sitting before games, hearing what she wanted to do, what I wanted to do, and like finding a way to put it together and complement our games, which was super fun.
Coach, they say that great players struggle to be great coaches. You were a great athlete in this sport. There's no questioning that. How have you grown as a coach and figured out how to grow into that role and you know, not just see yourself as like, oh, if I was out there, this is what I would have done?
Well, you know, I think that I think I have the team playing a style of volleyball that I liked to play, which was very aggressive, very attack first, and try to be as consistent as possible. But it's fun, you know. I don't have to wake up in the morning and worry about how your body feels. You as a coach, you know, player, they're out there doing the work, and we're trying to put them in positions that they can be successful, and that's the biggest part of my job. But it's so much fun to coach at a place like USC, where the level is so high, not only academically but also on the court athletically. I don't think there's a school that puts as much as we do in both categories of excellence, and to be able to be a part of young people's lives and help them get to that next level. I mean, that's what it's all about, graduating from here, having that Trojan family behind you. But coaching's so much fun, and it's even more fun when you recruit the right types of players that are passionate and want to play. And it's just been a blast. You know, I think I have the best job on campus for sure.
Well, you're going for 4 this spring. If people haven't come on out to Merle Norman Stadium, it's such a cool venue right there on Figueroa, our beach courts. You know, it's obviously a great team. You guys will be honored on the field at the Coliseum this fall, and deserve every bit of it. More rings for those fingers. So congratulations on 3. Have fun battling for 4, and we'll be watching.